Don't kill me, man! Don't kill me! Don't kill me, man!
I'm not going to kill you. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me.
What are you?
What's up? What is up, everybody? This is Batman Fan, and this is episode 32. Got a few things. I'm going to be throwing a lot of stuff in this video. This probably won't be as detailed as some of my other videos I've done, but I've just got a lot of stuff going on, and so I'm just going to get right to cracking on what I've got shown here. So this is, we've got Batman Zero Year by Greg Capullo. He's one of my favorite artists. My favorite Batman artist of all time, if you will, is I'm a big Jim Lee fan, Neil Adams, and Greg Capullo. Those are my top three. I don't know who's number one, whatever, but I've met Neil Adams and I've met Greg Capullo. Have not gotten to meet Jim Lee yet, but out of the two, Capullo was just awesome. I've talked about that though in a past video. I also bought the trade paperback today. This was buy one, get one half off. Buy one trade paperback, get one half off. And they are all brand new. And y'all will see some of my inspiration for this character momentarily. Thank you. Anyways, so we've got The Dark Knight Returns. I have not read this series yet, so I heard the second part of it is not as good. It was just sort of weird, is what people say. But this one is supposedly the stellar one. I've been collecting the newest Batman, The Dark Knight, Master Race, I believe is what it's called. I've been buying those. I just haven't read them because I needed to read this one. I don't know if I'm going to skip out on 2 or not, but I'm definitely going to start reading this one this upcoming week. I've read parts of Black Mirror, but I have not read all of it. So, let's get on to the good stuff. Oh, before I do that, I did buy this this week as well. I bought my Overstreet comic book price guide, 2015-2016. The only reason I bought that, and I got that for $20 shipped too. That's a heck of a deal, brand new. The only reason I bought that though was for insurance purposes. You need to, if y'all have a lot of money invested into comics, and comics that you cannot just easily replace, you have to have a separate policy to cover those with insurance. Your regular homeowners, renters, whatever insurance you have is not going to cover those personal items. I believe it's called a personal item policy or something to that effect. But you've got to have extra insurance, folks. And I have found that as I've bought books, I'm getting to the level where I feel uncomfortable. So I've got to have some insurance on that. It's personal items is what it's called. And my insurance company requested that I get a reputable person to do the appraisals and stuff like that. So I'm only going to do my graded comics and just go from there. Okay, so let's just get rolling. Okay, so here is my rough sketch. I've been doing this is my third colored or adult coloring book comic that I've done. And on each of these, I've done a rough draft just to sort of see what my colors were going to look like. So there's my rough draft. And then here is I think I'm finished on this one. I don't know that I'm going to do a whole lot more with it. Now you see the year one. And this was also Batman back in the day, back in the late 30s, early 40s. He had purple gloves as well. And the inside of his cape would be like a light purple, dark blue, somewhere in there. But that's really where I drew some of the inspiration from, was Capullo's year one, 0 year Batman, and then just the throwback to the original. So, anyways, that was my comic book coloring. Okay, here's some more comics I got. I've already got a copy of this one. But this is Human Torch #1. Human Torch has been around for a long time, folks. Way back in the day, back in the maybe late 30s. I know for sure in the early 40s. Back whenever you had like Human Torch, Submariner, and Cap. So I've got a better copy of this in storage, but I figured for $4, why not? This next one, hey, Swamp Thing #3. I paid a whopping $2.50 for this one. That is a pretty cool cover. I'm not a huge Swamp Thing fan. I do love some of Bernie Wrightson's work. He has some amazing stuff. He's even done some Batman stuff. So, caught that one. Alright, this next one is a little bit of a run, if you will. This is Supergirl #3. I paid $10 for this. Supergirl Bleepin' 3. Next one, Supergirl #2. Yes, sir. And I paid $11.50 for this one. And last, but for certainly not least, Supergirl #1. So, with the TV show and everything, this book has continued to be on the rise. I bought this one for $13.50. It's not a perfect copy, folks. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this is the best copy ever, man. You ain't going to find another copy better than this. This is it, man. This is her first appearance and everything. This is the money. Okay, it's not her first appearance, but it is her first solo story. I do have the one chip out up here on the top. That dog ear right there. But other than that, man, look at that cover. That's a beautifully awesome cover. Glad to add that to the old Batman fan collection. Alright. So that's a pretty good haul so far. Not too shabby. Not bad. Not bad. Let's see what else we can find. Alright. I paid. Oh, this is just terrible. I paid $23 for this, folks. $23. Take that, Trebek. Okay, sorry. Detective Comics #329. A 7.5 grade. Excuse me, 7.5, man. That is awesome. Nothing, I don't think anything big happens in this one. But it's from 1964. And it's in a 7.5 grade. And I spent $23 on it. So, that was a great buy, man. Alright, my next one. I showed this comic recently in another haul video that I made. But it was in ungraded form. And I picked it up. This is the very first appearance of Spider-Woman. It's her origin. It's her first appearance. It's Jessica Drew. There's also Nick Fury appearance right here. She was originally, I've detailed this in one of my other videos, but she was originally brainwashed by Hydra to try to kill Nick Fury. So I have this one now. This is 8.5. I'm happy with this grade. The only reason I would get another copy now is if it's like a signed copy, CGCSS or CBCSS. That would be the only reason. Other than that, man, I am good to go with this 8.5. That is a beautiful cover. I've also got Spider-Woman #1 in high grade. I think it's like a 9.0 or a 9.2. And then I also have a low grade. It's got a very rustic, rough look to it, but it's signed by Joe Sinnott and Stan Lee. And I spent like 70 or 80 bucks on that one. I stole that bad boy, but those are in another video as well. So, anyways, keep rolling here. This one brings back great fond childhood memories. I hate you, go. Stand by. Okay, I'm back. I could have edited all that out, but screw it, man. Y'all need to see that ain't everything ain't always perfect, okay? So, what had happened was, what I was trying to say is that this brings back great childhood memories for me. This is one of the first toys I really remember gravitating towards. There were Superpowers, Secret Wars, and G.I. Joes. G.I. Joes, though, was what I had far more of. Man, there was just nothing. The cartoon, the action figures, the vehicles, I mean, it was just second to none for me. So once I knew that this existed, I knew that I had to get out there and find one. This one's in really good grade as well. It's a 9.2. I spent $52 on this. That's a good deal. The only thing that could top this for me is to have actually had the late Herb Trimpe sign this one for me. There are still a few that are floating around out there that are signed and graded, but they're expensive to say the least. So, anyways, glad to have acquired that one. Okay. The next one. This is X-Men 140 and a 9.0 grade. I spent $30 on this one. And the only thing that I know that really happens, the Wendigo, if that's how you pronounce his name, he makes an appearance in this one. Which, if you remember my one video, whenever I was talking about my Hulk 181 comic that I got, Wendigo appeared probably about 20 issues before 181. I think it's like 161, 162, somewhere in there, I think. But that's how Wolverine got sprung into action. He was sent by the Canadian government to break up a fight between the Hulk and Wendigo. So anyways, Alpha Flight also disbands in this comic. So a phenomenal pickup for $30. All right, getting to the good stuff. Man, I saw Black Terror one time in a comic book shop, and I knew nothing about this guy. This has been several years ago. And I was like, man, that is just a really cool character. And I said, I just sort of logged it in the back of my mind. And here recently, I decided that I needed to get out and try to find one again. So this is actually called Exciting Comics, and it's number 52, and it's from 1946. So another Golden Age comic for me. Really proud to own these comic books. This is also Steve. I finally acquired my first Pedigree comic book. This is from the Davis Crippen collection. And I'll read a little bit to you about Davis Crippen. It says, of the Golden Age collections, this one is second only in size to the extraordinary Edgar Church Mile High accumulation, numbering roughly 13,000. Even though it lacks many of the key issues in rare 30s books that were present in the Mile Highs, the Crippen collection still contains full, unbroken runs of titles from every company and genres between 1940 and 1955. It also has a distinctive history of discovery. They first surfaced in 1991 when 2,000 Crippen books, called D copies at the time, were brought to market. 15 years later, when the family decided to sell the collection after Davis Crippen passed away, the remaining 11,000 comics went up for auction. Once the Crippen family found out about the missing books, the story was picked up by a reporter at the Wall Street Journal who was determined to find out the true story. Did Davis Crippen sell them himself, or were they stolen? Structurally, the Crippen books are as nice as many of their Pedigree contemporaries. Virtually unread, each book exhibits perfect corners and spines and rich colors. Their main detractor is foxing, caused by prolonged storage and subsequent exposure to heat and moisture in an unprotected garage for several years. Ironically, the move to the garage took place after the theft in 1991. So, this is a 5.0 grade, folks. That's extraordinary for me to be from 1946. That makes it, 70 years old? Might be wrong with my math. I don't know, something like that. I think it's 70 years old. Anyways, I spent less than $160 for this. So to get a Pedigree comic, plus it was a comic that I had been searching for. I haven't like posted a list for anybody. I've just been keeping my own list of comics that I really want. One of them was an Exciting Comics or a Black Terror Comics. Another one was that G.I. Joe comic, #1. That was one of my comics I'd been searching for. And the last comic of this video is a comic, man, I have searched for this comic book in the daylight with a flashlight. I have wanted this comic book for ages. And I'm going to grab one more comic book real quick to show you. And then I'll be right back. Cleared everything else out for this one. Like I said, I have been searching a long time for this comic book. My first reprint of it come in the form of the Lionsgate film from 2004. I went to watch the movie Punisher opening night at the theater, and they were passing these out. So I was glad to have that. I knew little about it at the time. I just always loved Punisher. I'd loved the action figures. I'd read a couple of the comic books in the early 90s. I'd even watched that Dolph Lundgren Punisher movie. But that's sort of where I just sort of always loved the symbol of Punisher, and had put that on motorcycle helmets I've had, cars. I've just sort of liked the persona, if you will, of Frank Castle. Oh, and as a side note, if anyone, I've referenced this in someone else's video, or maybe as in one of my videos. If you look up on YouTube here, if you look up Thomas Jane or Punisher Dirty Laundry, Thomas Jane made an independent film. That's a Punisher short film. Anyways, check it out. It's pretty cool. Okay, so, man, this one has been a long time coming. I'm so happy to finally add this to the collection. This is Amazing Spider-Man #129. This is the first appearance of the Punisher, Frank Castle, and the Jackal, Professor Miles Warren. This is in the 3.0 grade. Not a, hey folks, this is not a top shelf, top flight, top flight security grade. This is not top flight here, but it still displays very well. And I am thoroughly happy to have this one. I spent $325 for this. And what I have been noticing, and I showed y'all my the Overstreet price guide earlier. That's good for a reference point, but I try to keep up with live data as far as what is it selling for on eBay. Now, what I have sort of been able to ascertain, and please correct me if I'm wrong or if you've seen it differently, but it looks like for every, like if it's a 3.0, they've been hitting somewhere around $300. If it's a 4.0, $400, 5.0, so on and so forth, okay? So that's sort of how I've seen it sort of running. And I watch, I know We Love Comics talked recently about remove luck out of your vocabulary. I have had really good luck with buying comics for the prices and stuff, but I have busted my tail looking and watching for comics. I constantly watch and look for comics, so I am always on the lookout. And I forgot to say earlier that Supergirl comics, the Human Torch, and Swamp Thing, I found those out in the wild, amazingly enough. And that Supergirl, it actually had, I think, I could have bought the whole run, but I figured I'd just buy 1 through 3. That's where the money was. But anyways, I am so happy to, like I said, to have Amazing Spider-Man #129. Thank y'all very much for watching another haul video of mine. I've got another one coming up shortly with some more comics I've got, and then I'm going to do another one to where I'm going to be sending some stuff off to CBCS. So thank you all very much. Thank you all for following me. Thank you all for liking the videos and subscribing. That's all, folks.
That's all, folks.